Hi everyone, this is your host and your coach, Dr. Mary Ayers from tapintoaction.com. And today we're going to be talking about building self-confidence. This is probably one of the more popular requests that I get as a coach. People come wanting to feel more confident. They want to feel a sense of certainty, of knowing, of comfort, of ability. Think about all the things you think about when you think of feeling self-confident, being solid in yourself, a sense of knowing what it is you know. That's what I call it. It's a feeling of knowing what I know, feeling grounded in that. And that's what we're going to work on today, because I'm going to show you 3 easy steps so that you can build your level of confidence. And of course, we will be adding tapping to that so you can see how the tapping works with that. A client shared with me an exercise that she had done while she was listening to some podcasts before about seeing yourself being confident. And one of the questions that were asked of her to do in that exercise was to think of a time when she had felt confident. Now, what really kind of rattled her was as soon as they asked that question, her mind went blank. She could not think of a past time when she had felt confident. Now, of course, she had had times when she had felt confident, but I think the idea that the question was asking it right there and then, she couldn't remember one. She couldn't draw one up. She didn't have access to it as soon as she needed it. And that's really what we all want, isn't it? We want to be able to access our feelings of confidence when we need them. Because the truth is, there are going to be plenty times in our life where we're not going to have confidence, probably around a task. We all run into something new that comes up in our life, and because we don't have any experience with it, we don't have the knowledge, oftentimes we'll say, well, I don't feel very confident about that. And the truth is, how can you feel confident if you haven't any experience with something? Over this past weekend, I had to build my feed for an iTunes podcast, and there was so much in that process that I had never experienced before. So I didn't feel confident necessarily about my skill level because I didn't know how to do it, but I could find confidence in other places. And that's what we're going to talk about, is how do you access that feeling of confidence even when you don't have some experience or knowledge on something, because that's likely to come up in life. I want to start out with doing some tapping on this. I'll do the teach afterwards, but first I want to do some tapping. And that's because I know that you probably all could draw up some feelings of when you felt lack of confidence, or not feeling so certain, or feeling uneasy about something. What do we call it when we don't feel confident? Think about that feeling for a moment. Even get it in your body. If you can think of a time or a place where if you had to do a task, go somewhere, maybe it could be traveling, a task that you need to do now, maybe it's for work, maybe it's in your personal life, or maybe you're planning a trip and you need to set up hotels and travel. How does it feel? What's your level of confidence about those? Ask yourself, when you think of those tasks that are coming up, how do you feel? What is the feeling that comes to you right now that shows up in your body? So I know from working with clients that some of those feelings have been feelings of inadequacy. Some people have even talked about feeling stupid, not knowing that stupid feeling. What I want you to do is name that feeling if you can. What is that feeling? Notice where it is in the body. And of course, give it a number. We just want to know, how high is that as you feel it right now? And by the way, is this feeling familiar? Have you had it before? Do you know it? Chances are you do. So what we know, that there's a part of your mind that is accessing an old feeling of lack of confidence or inadequacy or not feeling smart about things, or however you want to frame it. But our mind is accessing those old feelings. as you are looking at this new task in front of you, this thing you need to do, your mind, because it doesn't recognize it, may not know how to do it right now, it's remembering another time when it had this exact same experience of not knowing and not feeling good about it. So we're going to start by doing some tapping right now on the feelings that are showing up now. And the reason I want to do that is because I want you to be very available to me when I start to give you the tips about how to build your confidence. And we want to leave an opening for that. We want to have room for us to access new memories and develop new programs where you're going to be able to store new information in them. So again, feel your body. Feel that feeling when you're putting yourself in front of that new task. I'm going to call that feeling a feeling of inadequacy, not being sure. You call it whatever it is for you, but I'm going to do the tapping using those words around inadequacy. And we're going to start on the karate chop. Even though I'm feeling really inadequate, when I think about this task I need to do, it doesn't feel familiar. I don't know how to do it. It brings up these feelings of inadequacy. And no matter what, I'm going to accept myself right now, anyhow. Even though I recognize this feeling, I've had it before. It's a feeling of inadequacy, not being sure, not believing in my ability, questioning whether I can do it. And I'm going to choose to accept me as best I can right now. Even though I have this doubt, I don't feel sure, I'm questioning myself, I feel inadequate. I feel inadequate when I think about doing this task. I'm glad I'm ready to change these feelings. I'm looking forward to finding the confidence in this area, to building it. And I'm willing to trust that I can. Let's go to that eyebrow, this feeling of inadequacy. Side of the eye, I feel it right there in my body. Under the eye, when I think about this task I have to do. Under the nose, I feel that familiar feeling. On the chin, it's that feeling of being inadequate. Collarbone, the feeling of being not sure. Under the arm, of questioning myself. Top of the head, questioning my ability. At the eye, I'm not sure if I can do it. Side of the eye, I'm not sure how to do it. Under the eye, it feels so complex. Underneath the nose, I don't know where to begin. On the chin, I'm not sure how to start. Collarbone, it's rather overwhelming. Under the arm, I'd rather do something I know how to do. Top of the head. Maybe I'll wash the dishes. Eyebrow. At least I know how to do that. Side of the eye. That gives me an idea. Under the eye. Maybe there are some things in this task. Under the nose that I do know how to do. On the chin, even if there's a lot I don't know how to do. Collarbone. Maybe there's one or two things where I could begin. Under the arm. I wonder if I could be confident in starting small. Top of the head. I wonder if I could be sure that I'm a good learner. Back at the eyebrow. That I'm good at asking questions. Side of the eye. Or maybe I'm a good researcher. Under the eye. I bet there may be an area or two. Under the nose, where I could be more sure. On the chin, I can remember other times when I had a new task. Collarbone, that I started small. Under the arm, and I took little steps. Top of the head, and I can remember that my confidence grew. Back at the eyebrow, as the pieces came together. Side of the eye, what if I could know that that's the process? Under the eye, and I could draw on old experiences. Under the nose, where my confidence grew. On the chin, I can do things now like drive a car. Collarbone, I could do things now like check my email. Under the arm, I've even gotten used to my new phone. Top of the head. And what if this is an area that I soon start to feel more and more confident? Take a breath. Now look at that task again, or think about that task again. How are you feeling? It's not that you're going to feel confident right now. It's that the feelings around the inadequacy or the doubt or the stupid, are they softer? Has it lightened up just a little bit so that there's more of a curiosity factor when you're looking at that task? Maybe you're looking at it and noticing that maybe you're thinking about it in different chunks, little pieces you're starting to pull out where you might have an idea of a way to start. That's how building confidence starts. That's how you've done everything else that you've had to learn, has been bit by bit allowing yourself to go forward. And then that's when your confidence grew. You didn't have it in the beginning. It's something that you gave yourself the opportunity to build. What we want to do is strengthen those feelings of learning, strengthen those feelings of knowing that you can acquire new information, that you can acquire new skills. That's what you want your confidence in, is your ability to acquire more, to be able to go into something new and to learn it. When we have that confidence, then we can walk into new situations feeling more steady, feeling more grounded, not being so hijacked or overwhelmed. So I'm going to give you 3 quick ways of how you can start to build your confidence file. That file for you filled with experiences as well as feelings. Remember, the subconscious needs feelings. It wants the feeling of it. So the first one is you need to draw up experiences of confidence where you've had confidence, where you've learned on purpose. You need to literally take out times where you learned something, like you learned how to drive a car, or maybe you learned how to dance, or you learned how to skateboard or ride a bike or windsurf. It can be something brand new, or it can be all the other times that you've acquired a skill. Think of the small things you couldn't do that you can do now. That's why I use things like using your phone, your new mobile phone, or a new program in your computer, or you learned how to cook with a new apparatus, or you got a new piece of furniture that you had to put together yourself and you ended up being able to do that. All of these, even though they sound like really small things, are evidences of times that you learned. There are times that you took things and put pieces together and now have a learning experience. You want to do these things when you're feeling good, and you want to do these things ahead of time so that you are in a calm place. You can pull up without any pressure some examples of things that you've done, and you want to feel it. This is the big piece. You want to feel what it feels like to feel the satisfaction, the pride, the learning that you did, the process that you took in order to go from one part of that exercise or that activity to the end. You want to remember the feeling of accomplishment that is. That's what your body wants to feel, and that's what you want to keep focusing on. The second thing you want to do is catch yourself when it's happening now. So often there are things in your life, in your daily life, finding a new restaurant's an example. There are things that are happening in your daily There are things that are already happening in your life where you are building your confidence and you're not capturing them. This is an opportunity to capture them. Let's say that you need to go meet somebody and it's at a new restaurant in a new part of town, and you had to put that in your maps and you had to follow those directions to a new part of town. Now, that is you going through the actions of breaking it down and using some past skills in order to be able to get to doing something new. And you have a level of confidence if you just know, I know how to put something into my maps and I know how to follow my maps. That's you having a level of confidence in your ability. And that's why we want to bring it home and recognize it in the moment that it is happening. And the third one is, then you want to milk it. See, it's all about the feeling. You want the feeling of the confidence. And so every time you have any little experience with confidence, anything that feels it's in that genre of confidence, you want to milk it. You want to take time to really absorb it. Recognize the feeling, because you're helping the neurons to link up so that they can fire together and you can fire off that feeling of confidence at your will. By linking up those neurons, you'll be able to call on that feeling in a moment, which means that you'll be able to call on it when you need it. But you have to practice it, because you have to practice it over and over and over. Not once or twice. You have to practice it over and over in order to be able to link those neurons up so you can call on that feeling when you want it and when you need it. So those are the 3 steps. You want to do it on purpose. You want to take out experiences from your memory and do it on purpose. You want to catch yourself doing that in your daily life. Recognize that you're feeling and building those experiences, that evidence in your life now, and then you want to milk it. You want to just swim in it, squeeze all the good feelings out of it so that you can link up those neurons. That's how you build self-confidence. And you will start to notice your confidence really starting to grow. Well, there we have it. You can use your tapping for when you're not feeling confident, and then you can build your skills. It opens up that room for you to feel more secure, more confident in your skill levels. I love this. If you know it would be helpful for you to be working with a coach to take your tapping to another level, feel free to give me an email at mary@tapintoaction.com. We'll set up a time to chat. We'll do a consultation. It's free of charge to see how I can be helpful for you. And until next time, this is your coach, Mary. Stay brilliant.